Now, Hillary Clinton's due to testify before a Congressional Committee, which is investigating the disgraced paedophile financier Jeffrey Epstein. She and her husband, the former US President Bill Clinton, agreed to testify after Republicans in the House of Representatives threatened to hold them in contempt of Congress. Well, let's cross straight to the US and our correspondent, James Matthews. James, Hillary Clinton seems to have a very basic knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein. Do we know if she even met him? And if so, why is she appearing?
Well, that's the big question. She has no recollection of ever having had contact with Epstein, ever having spoken to him. But we will see quite the spectacle here in this wealthy, well-to-do hamlet of Chappaqua, 30 miles north of New York City, Jane. The Performing Arts Centre has been rented for the spectacle. They've got a Fleetwood Mac tribute act on stage next month, but I can tell you on stage today we'll see very much the real thing and political history. We've not seen a sitting or former president give evidence before a Congressional Committee since Gerald Ford. We will see that tomorrow when Bill Clinton is quizzed by Oversight Committee members. Today, it's the warm-up act, I suppose, really. Hillary Clinton, former First Lady, former Secretary of State, former presidential candidate, of course. Now, she says no contact with Epstein. That's her recollection. But she did know Ghislaine Maxwell. And I suppose that will be the line of questioning today. Maxwell, Epstein's co-accused, in jail for 20 years. She was at the wedding of Chelsea Clinton in 2010. That was a year after. A civil lawsuit launched by the family, or launched by Virginia Giuffre. And Ghislaine Maxwell was named in that civil lawsuit. So that presumably will be one question for Hillary Clinton. Another might relate to a relative of Ghislaine Maxwell who worked in her department at the State Department, and also worked for her during her 2008 presidential run. Clinton's lawyer says that she didn't know that this individual had any connection with Ghislaine Maxwell. But, you know, there are areas to explore, I suppose, for Oversight Committee members. The chair, James Comer, he's a Republican. And the Clintons are saying, look, this is very much about partisan politics, about putting us in front of this committee for politically motivated reasons. They have bent over backwards, of course, Jane, to try to avoid this spectacle. It took the threat of prosecution, potentially a year in jail, to bring them to this. Basically, it will be behind closed doors in this Performing Arts Centre. Press won't be allowed in. It will be filmed, and it may be that we get access to that footage in due course. So we should see Hillary Clinton being questioned. It's expected to take quite a while today. And then, of course, Bill Clinton tomorrow. He, of course, does appear in the Epstein files in images, text messages, and so on. He flew in Jeffrey Epstein's private jet on multiple occasions. He says he regrets the association, but clearly the questions may be more pointed to him than they are to her.